Good evening, YTPC. Bobby here from Grateful Pipe and Cigar. I'm wrapping up my Sunday evening here, getting ready to just relax for the rest of the night. And I just decided to let you guys know what's going on. No big deal, just trying to put out another video. It's been a while. I think it's been a week since I put one out. It's always very sporadic with me. I never seem to get to my real ideas for my videos. I always just talk about something. So today what's going on with me is I am smoking a little bit of this Peterson nightcap. You've seen it, you've loved it, you know what it's all about. I have not been smoking a lot of English Bens lately. I've really been into just the plain Virginias, Burleys lately, Vapors, a little bit of Perique, yeah, that's where it's been at for me, but I'm enjoying this right now. I wanted to show you this right here is my most recent pipe, and it is obviously a well-used meerschaum billiard, just a smooth. I'm going to keep my face out of the picture so that it focuses right for you. And you can see it's pretty beat up, but it's totally intact. Come on. There it is. Look at that. It's got a nice bowl. It's got nice, a great size of the wall of the pipe. I'm digging it because I've been watching a lot of going back into Mark Bremen Pipe Smokers catalog. And as you know, he's a big fan of the meerschaum pipes. And I always think he looks so awesome with that long meerschaum sticking out of his mouth. I can't talk as well when I'm clenching as some of you guys do. I can, but it always feels weird. I feel like Popeye. But yeah, I really like the look of his pipes. I've never, I haven't been into the meerschaum pipes, and just recently I had a fever, so I got this one. I got another one on the way that looks almost exactly like this, both from eBay. That's one thing I wanted to mention about eBay. I don't know how many of you bought your pipes from eBay, but man, if you're looking at a decent pipe that you really, it's not just a throwaway pipe. It is so hard to get those pipes. You almost have to be the guy that goes in there at the very last second and raises the bid. Unless you put an honest, real high bid, I guess. Truly the highest bidder wins. But I've noticed that, unless it's just throwaway pipes that are a dime a dozen, man, someone's always on there at the last 2 or 3 seconds raising the bid. And I get it. I mean, if you want the pipe, you want the pipe, but it just seems so low down to me to do that. I always think it'd be awesome if we were allowed to message each other, and if we knew who those people were that swooped in at the very last moment and scooped up the things. It's probably better that we're not allowed to do that. So I got a hankering for some oatmeal cookies today. So I'm trying something new that it just came to me. I'm going to make some homemade oatmeal cookies, but with the instant packet oatmeals, because I love how those things taste. I realize that they're loaded with sugar, but I'm going to make some maple and brown sugar flavored oatmeal cookies. And so that got me thinking. I just wanted to show you this. I'm not a big cooker. I don't cook a lot of different things, but when I do, I love this book, The Complete America's Test Kitchen TV Show Cookbook. I got this for my wife several years ago because I love this show. It is a great show. You know, if you like cooking shows, this is a good show to watch because they go through scientifically what's involved in the recipe, and they try different things, and they figure out how to make something the best way, and then they tell you why it works that way. Really entertaining, a little bit scientific, so it scratches a few itches. So I'm smoking this pipe here right now, just waiting for my butter to soften the natural way. I just figured I'd take my time with this and be a baker tonight. Something I've noticed with nightcap and other Englishes, that when you have them around for a little while, I've had this jar open, you know, out of the tin in this jar for you know, probably maybe 5 or 6 months. This nightcap is one of the ones that I probably got, one of the first tobaccos that I tried right off the bat around January, February. And those really in-your-face Latakia flavors that are in a lot of Englishes, I think they really mellow out even just after a few months of being opened and in your jar. Let me know what you think. Do you think that's the case? Like when they're fresh, when you just open a container the first couple weeks that you have one opened, isn't it sharper? And I don't want to say harsher because that's bad, but they're just stronger and sharper. Yeah, but this is really good. I'm really liking this pipe. The stem, the hole through the stem is very small. And so I was out and about today looking at hardware stores, and the hobby store locally is closed today because it's Sunday, looking for tiny little files, little cylindrical files. I don't know what you would even call it, so that I can file this out just a little more. I wouldn't want to drill it because I would be afraid of breaking it, but just to file it out more. That's what I intend to do. But otherwise, I love this pipe. All I did was I sterilized the stem. I boiled it in some water and cleaned it out really good with some pipe cleaners. But I do intend to maybe try and buff some of these scratches out. You know, I figure since it's meerschaum, this is a solid material. I know it's this color is probably soaked in, you know, from the inside out. But you know, I was thinking I could get a nice smoother finish on it without all these scratches. Let me know what you think. Have you done that? Do you have any experience doing that with an old meerschaum pipe? I've been using this Zippo lately, and I like it. The one thing though, and it drives me nuts, I don't know why, even though it's striking every time, it doesn't always light on the first strike. There's plenty of fluid in it. Sometimes it'll light right up. Sometimes I have to roll the wheel 5 or 6 times to get it to light. I don't know why. I feel like, oh, there goes my flint every time I'm doing that. The last thing I wanted to show you was I have this. This is a very inexpensive bulk tobacco that I bought recently. It's from Daughters and Ryan. and it is called Vengure Platinum. And what it is, it's pretty, right? What it is golden. They don't even say golden Virginia, but I assume it's golden Virginia and white burley and orientals. And that's the whole description. And it doesn't seem to have any topping or casing on it, and I believe that's true. That's what it says. Yeah, Vengure Platinum, it says right here. It came kind of dry. It tastes pretty good, like a very basic tobacco flavor. It was a bit dry, so it smokes pretty quick. But I took a big portion of this. And I wanted to see if I could put some flavoring in it, just to try something out. So what I did was I took a little pot, about a quarter cup of water, maybe half a cup, in between there somewhere. And I put maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of honey in there. And then a couple of really big dashes of probably at least a tablespoon or 2 of some bourbon vanilla extract that I have from Trader Joe's. There goes my copyright infringement. And so I heated that up in a pot to just barely starting to boil. Just so I could be sure it was really thin and mixed together well. And I took probably about 5 ounces, maybe more like 4 ounces of this tobacco in a big Tupperware bin. And I sprinkled it all over there, mixed it up. And this tobacco was pretty wet. So I took it and put it out, sat it in the sun, and went with my hand and turned it over 5 or 6 times over about a 2-hour period, and let it dry back out again till it was on the moist side for smoking. And then I shoved it in this plastic tube I have. This tube housed some pencils that I bought from Home Depot. And you can see it's really kind of, it's not thin plastic, but it's pretty flexible. So I carved down the lid so that it would actually slide in rather than stick on the top. And then I've got a couple of discs of some hard material here, and then one in the top as well. And I put my big clamp on it. And this thing I had full of tobacco all the way to the end. This thing's about 7 inches long, maybe a little more than 6 inches long right now. And I shoved it in with my fingers as hard as I could pack it, and it went all the way to the top. And then I just started cranking it down. And this thing down here, I mean, you can see how easily I can bend this. This feels hard as a rock. I've tightened it as much as I dare because I don't know when this thing is just going to split open. But it's super tight. And you see it went from this color. Obviously, I got it wet. But when I dried it out, it went almost back to that same color. And now it's this color. Come on. There you go. I think you can see that. And it's quite a bit darker. I mean, you can see where the moisture has been squeezed from the tobacco itself. And so I did this 2 days ago on a Friday. And I intend to leave it for as long as I can. I'd say at least 3 weeks, maybe a month. That seems to be the consensus of people pressing their own tobacco. and I'm just going to see how it comes out. Next time I might try a bourbon or a something like that, but I just wanted to try something to see if literally putting honey and vanilla in tobacco is going to make it taste like honey and vanilla. You know, how efficiently these natural additives might help it to taste like those things. Or if what, you know, most manufacturers add is some kind of an artificial thing. I got, you know, organic, raw, blah, 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 the actual honey and vanilla. I will say, after I scooped it all out of that bin and put it in this little tube, there was just some crumbs around that I scraped all together and got probably a third of a bowl. I put it in here and smoked it that day, and it was sweeter. I mean, it tasted good. It tasted like honey vanilla. So I think that's really interesting, how if you put honey on tobacco and when you smoke it, it tastes sweet like honey. Well, I've already gone on way too long. I just wanted to say hi and let you all know I'm still here. By the way, it's 2 full weeks today that I've been afflicted with the COVID virus. On Saturday, was it Saturday? Yeah, yesterday on Saturday, I finally tested negative. I'm feeling pretty good now. It's been weird. It's been a lot of fatigue and congestion and these things going on for 2 full weeks. It takes a lot out of you. It's weird. I haven't been sick like that in, I don't even know when. You know, I'm not a guy who gets sick a lot. When I get sick, it's usually for about a day or 2 or 3 at the most, and then I'm like better. So this whole like almost 2 weeks of being under the weather really took a lot out of me. I noticed that me and my wife both, most of the second week, we really had this just empty feeling inside of like empty nothingness. It's really strange. I usually have a pretty good feeling of well-being. I enjoy the way I feel day to day. You know, just like I feel okay about life. I feel pretty good. But this whole last week, it's been really strange. Like all my normal things that I do for enjoyment, even smoking a pipe, watching YouTube videos, hanging out with my wife and my daughter, playing card games, all of these things felt like just going through the motions and like oh, what's the point? Like those oh, I'm not going to remember what they're called, but from kind of Marvin the robot from what's the movie? Help me out here. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's just been a really weird feeling, and I'm starting to feel better now. I'm starting to get my spark back, and that's really good because I you know, boy, I don't know how some people live through like the chronic depression and other different, you know, anxieties that people have, and just weird physiological problems that people go through. Man, it's good to feel good, and it's hard when you don't feel a good connection to life. I'm telling you right now, it's been really strange, but I'm glad to be on the mend. I'm glad to have my meerschaum pipe. I feel like a very fancy guy with it. And so I'm gonna go and enjoy more of this. Y'all have a good evening, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.